You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good day and welcome to the Mushie Moment for Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. You're here today with myself and John Sayer. We have got an exciting guest to interview today. Some of you may know her, some of you may not. It'll be really exciting to do this incredible chat. How you doing today, John?
Good. Cindy's probably nervous because she's a guest and not a main host or whatever. Yeah. So. Yeah,
okay. So you wrote all of the questions. What's your favorite color?
And I've got your pen here, Cindy. And and I'm not going to do any self promotion or anything like that. So.
Make sure you don't get it right up by the cameras where people can see it.
Okay.
Because, we don't want them looking at your artwork or stuff. Well, I'm excited to just get right to getting the guest in. And I think she missed that one. She was looking down.
Oh, was she? Oh.
Let's invite our guest in and find out how she was doing down in the fine world of Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Rev Cindy.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
How are you?
Did I click you in just as you clicked you in and you clicked out and then clicked back in?
No, I was changing. I was doing the producing stuff. I changed the layout so you guys were in the center and everything was behind you. So when you brought me in, I had to change the layout again. That's all.
Ah.
Yeah, I was playing.
Teach me that stuff because I didn't do any of that while you were gone.
It's all new. Like all the things that I was punching are new. It's like I can do this to us now. Although you guys look really funny when there's two of you and I try to do that. Or we could do the small square.
Well, keep it like that. There, that's perfect. Oh, there we go.
What'd you let that guy back in for?
Yeah. You went, tell everybody what you went down to Mexico for and what did you study and tell us all about it.
Well, that's a loaded freaking question. Yeah. What did I do? The last 9 months I have spent taking a course through the 5 education and training in Mexico through the Tandava retreats. It was a 9-month training to become a 5 MEO / Bufo Alvarius facilitator. And we did a 2-week practicum and graduation in Tepoztlán, Mexico.
Now, did you have like a shaman or a teacher or a professor or?
Well, yeah, there were the two people that own the school, Joelle and Victoria. They also own Tandava. They were the 2 main teachers and they brought in experts from around the world. And we had some integration specialists that were down there. So yeah, a lot of very interesting people were teaching us over the last 9 months.
Now, when I seen 5MEO-DMT, I thought it was 2 different things because of the dash in between, but they're actually the same thing, aren't they?
Well, 5MEO-DMT is the scientific name. Yeah. It's, it represents the molecule. And the molecule, the 5-MeO-DMT, is part of the Bufo alvarius. The Bufo alvarius comes from the toad. It's the toad secretion. There's 5-MeO in it. And I learned how to work with that when I was there, but we focused on what we call the synthetic or the extract, which is 5-MeO. And it's a pure molecule. It has none of the extra stuff in it at all. It's just the pure molecule.
Wow. I'm going to break in here because really what we're doing is the 5-MeO is specifying which form of DMT, because there's other forms of DMT, correct? Right? There's the
sort of. Yes, DMT, it represents the part, like how it's kind of brought together. And even though a lot of people think that all DMTs are linked, which they kind of are, they are all completely different as well. Like, we know of NN-DMT. The newest one out there is 4-ACO-DMT, which is psilocin, the extract from psilocybin. And that's the synthetic version of psilocin. So there are different DMTs out there, and most of them are entheogens, and 5-MeO DMT is known to be the most powerful entheogen known to man.
Now, do you smoke it or do you ingest it?
5-MeO, you can do it in a variety of ways. The toad medicine that I have, just a second, I had something burning here. Toad medicine that comes from the actual toad is the only way that you can use it is to smoke it or vaporize it. The 5-MeO, the pure extract, you can take it sublingually under the tongue. You can use it, you can insufflate it, which is snorting it. You can use it in a suppository. You can vaporize it. You can use it. And the last two ways I don't practice, but you can use it intramuscularly, injection, or you can use it intravenously going through the blood.
Which is the most potent way to do it?
Smoking.
Yeah, smoking. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I looked up where you were, and I have trouble pronouncing it.
Tepoztlán.
Now, is that close to South America, or is it on the East Coast, or is it on the West Coast? Whereabouts in Mexico is that?
It is about a 90-minute drive south. So yeah, you're heading down towards the Central America area. So 90 minutes drive south after you land in Mexico City.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I figured it would probably be closer to South America.
Yeah.
Just because of the toad thing. As soon as
the toad thing really is not necessarily South America. The toad thing is Western Mexico and United States. It's the Sonora Desert. Oh, so okay. It's on the western side, and it goes up through Mexico in through Arizona. That's where you find the toads.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us some exciting stories about what happened. Is there like let's hear some excitement.
Well, there was a lot of it. I mean, from the time I landed till the time I left. I'd say one of the most exciting things, or one of the exciting things that happened before I even got to course. My first day there, I went out. I hired a tour guide, and I went out on tour. And they took us to another area that I can't pronounce the name of, but it was about 90 minutes, I think, west of where I was staying in Tepoztlán. And we went to these beautiful pyramids that were built by the Aztecs. We learned some history and some whatnot.
Machu Picchu or Michu Picchu?
It starts with an X. I can't.
Oh, yeah, I know the ones. I worked with a guy who went there. He said it was amazing.
It absolutely was. And the tour guide, we went in and we went around the base of the pyramids. And, there were, areas to walk up and around and kind of steep walks. And, I have bad knees, and my dad was with me, and he's 77. So I was like going slow on these steep walks. And the last one, I wasn't going to go up. But the tour guide said, listen, we got to go up. There's an area that you've got to see. You're going to get the best view of the whole place. So, we rested our knees for a minute, and then we went up the last hill. And going up the last hill, we went up and we went around this corner, and the view that was there was, it was a view that I had seen before in my spirit walk with Iboga 3.5 years ago. And I can remember when Iboga took me there on the back of an eagle that actually turned out to be my mom. I was, we were flying over these lush green mountains, and, I had that feeling that I needed to remember that view. And then I got that view at the top of the pyramids.
Wow. Did you did you take pictures or video or?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
See it again?
This is
wow. Look at that. Eh? Ooh.
Yeah. So when I came up and I saw that view, I kind of, I got very emotional and I started to cry. And the tour guide came up and she asked me, asked me if I was okay. She thought maybe I was in pain with my knees. And I told her that little story about how Iboga had brought me there in a spirit walk. So she stood there and cried with me because she realized, realized how important that was and what it meant. And I think that is walking up around those pyramids and seeing this view in person was probably one of the most memorable things that happened to me when I was there.
That's an amazing story.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool.
It truly made me believe that I was in the right place doing the right thing.
Now, did you do any of these ceremonies or learning in the jungle, or it was all?
No, 5MEO doesn't have a tribal lineage. It's it's like the newest lineage as well as the most powerful. So it doesn't have a tribal lineage. There is, we can go into the desert is really where it comes from, not the jungle. Which I'll have the opportunity next year to head to the Sonora Desert in Mexico and do the actual bufo secretion there, which would be absolutely wild. But we were on a resort and we did hold, there were 8 ceremonies that we were allowed to take part in each. And I did 7 of the 8. There was one that I said no to because I was still on a journey from the one that morning. There were 2 days in a row that we did 2 ceremonies each. It's crazy.
How many people were there?
16 students.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
What career projections were those students? Like where did they come from? You come from a healing background.
There were 2 or 3 doctors. There were a number of therapists. Most of them were trained, in one of those lineages. I was the only one showing up without that kind of training in my background. I did go to university a long time ago and study psychology, but that was, 27 years ago now. And I don't have a lot of memory from that because I didn't continue a career in psychology. So there were, I think 3 doctors and 5 or 6 therapists of different varieties. And then a lot of people that had been working, in the field for a while. So there was quite a bit of knowledge there.
Wow. That many therapists? I'd be in trouble. I'd be in big trouble. I'd be in big trouble with 5 therapists.
The whole world is just growing, or you'd be healed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Now, did you guys all go out to eat together, or did you go your separate ways after everything?
No, staying on the resort, they provided breakfast, lunch, and supper. So we had chef cooked meals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want to go there.
Yeah, well, we were doing a lot of medicine and a lot of work, and Luis made sure that we got the nutrients that we needed. He's a very amazing chef. He's actually worked with different, famous people over the years, cooking for them and creating meals for them. But now he gets to do it in a healing atmosphere, and you can really tell that this man loves what he does.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Now, does he cook from around, native food from around there, or does he have a variety of food from all over the world?
Well, everything. A lot of the food that we ate were Mexican dishes, but we had a night where he cooked Chinese food, and another night that we had some basic chicken and vegetables, but the majority of the time was traditional Mexican food.
Did anybody while you were there have a bad experience?
With the medicine or with the food?
With everything. The food would be the worst.
Well, there were a couple of people there that drank the water, so to speak.
And
ended up with
Montezuma's revenge.
Yeah, ended up with some stomach issues. And yeah, like, I mean, with the medicine, we were all there to learn, but when you take 5-MeO, you can't help but heal. And sometimes healing is dark, and sometimes healing is messy. And sometimes healing is triggering. And yeah, that happened there, I think, for all of us at one point in time or another.
Here's a weird question. By the end of it, I'm sure that you would sit with, like, by the end of the whole term period, and you've all done your journeys, and there had to have been people sitting and having a discussion. In those discussions, what would be the number one aha that the majority of the group came to?
I don't think there were any two people that had the same aha.
But I think it would be kind of hard for somebody like a psychologist or a doctor. They want to administer the drug, so I guess they want to better know it.
No, I mean, like, let me correct your language on that one. Let's, instead of calling it a drug, let's call it a medicine.
Okay.
Because that's really what it is.
Okay.
And yeah, like, I mean, doctors and therapists, they're used to being the people that are there doing the healing. But when you work with spiritual medicine, you have to be just as willing to heal as you are to help people heal. If you can't heal yourself, there is no way that you can put the work in to help somebody else find the tools.
Well, that's why, like, me and Steve started our mushroom company because of post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
We both had it or whatever, and that's what started everything, getting into all the different ways to heal from natural medicines or whatever. So I was curious, how similar is it to psilocybin?
It's not.
No, totally different, eh?
Psilocybin, if you go on an inward journey with psilocybin, you're looking at 6 to 8 hours. With 5-MeO DMT, you're looking at, 3 journeys in an hour.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And they're much more intense. Psilocybin, is much gentler, for lack of a better word. 5-MeO is, you go from, it's a mystical experience. Like, I mean, you in a few seconds, you go from being an individual to being part of everything, and everything is part of you. You go into an ego dissolution. And that's really hard on the human ego and on the human mind. And it's a fast actor. They're like, boom, you're in.
You don't have the half hour, 20-minute ramps. It's just like,
it's just boom.
Well, that's when you smoke it, I guess.
Rise it, or when you smoke it, that's how it happens. If you insufflate it, or if you use suppositories, it's a gentler climb up, but you still get to that heavy duty peak.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you insufflating, it would 15 to 20, 25 minutes. And what would suppository take?
Suppositories are very similar to insufflation. Yeah.
So basically, we got to get into the bloodstream, and then once it's
with the suppositories and insufflation, it takes me about 5 minutes to realize that the medicine is, saying, hi, how you doing? It's coming in, and 15 to 20 minutes to hit that peak, versus 5 to 10 seconds when you smoke it or vaporize it.
Yeah.
Now, do they ever get used together, the mushrooms and the 5-MeO? Do they get ever? Oh, they are used together.
Sometimes,
Mexican healers use it as well.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I chatted with people that they'll hold retreats. So you'll have a psilocybin day. You'll have a rest. You'll do 5-MeO the next morning. I know of retreats out in Vancouver, actually, that, serve the psilocybin and do one of two things. As you're peaking on the psilocybin, you go into the 5-MeO, or as you're coming down from the psilocybin, you go into the 5-MeO, or Bufo, I think is what they actually use out in Vancouver, the people I'm talking about. So yeah, they are by times put together. Another medicine that, I don't necessarily take part in that sometimes works with 5-MeO is ketamine, I've learned. Yeah, so a lot of these are used together. With 5-MeO, it is suggested to not use it with ayahuasca. Actually, it's more than suggested. It's one of the big contraindications. Do not do ayahuasca and then do 5-MeO. It's just a big freaking no. There can be a lot of serotonin overdoses, a lot of serotonin toxicities. Hape is another one, the snuff, that you shouldn't do within, for a while before heading into 5-MeO. Because the tobacco can, clump in your sinuses. And if you go into a full release, you can inhale that clump and causes asphyxiation. Yeah. So there are other contraindications, but when it comes to the natural medicines, those are the big two that we're told about.
The dangers of drugs. Now, is 5-MeO, is it found in any natural foods? It's
found in everything. It's in us.
Okay.
We produce 5-MeO DMT in our bodies, but small amounts. When we extract 5-MeO, we usually do it directly from melatonin, which is derived from plants and whatnot. But the concentration in melatonin is larger when you make it. So then you can extract the 5-MeO from that to get the pure molecule.
And the melatonin's the one we use for sleep, correct?
Yeah, it's a natural sleep aid. Again, our body makes it. So if you start taking it from the outside, your body can shut down making it, which can cause a lot of insomnia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Every medicine can be used or abused. So.
Yeah, that's very true.
Wow. I had a question and it just eluded me.
Oh, I was going to ask about tryptamine. Is that what gives the psychedelic part of the 5-MeO? What is the actual thing that causes the visions and stuff? Is it like
it's an entheogen, so it causes neuroplasticity in your brain, and our brains react. So we don't necessarily see visions. A lot of people actually don't. They'll see pure white or they'll see pure black when they go in. So the visions are really what your brain is showing you.
Okay.
And it attaches, 5-MeO actually attaches to your serotonin uptake. So your serotonin 1A and your serotonin 2A. So it works on the serotonin.
Now, what do you plan to do with the knowledge that you've learned? Well, the certificate, I've seen it on Facebook, and there we go.
Congratulations!
Now, are you going to be a facilitator, or what's your plans to do with?
Well, yeah, that's what I am now. I mean, I graduated as 5-MeO DMT facilitator. I plan on using the education to serve others and to help others find the tools that I have found. Much like I've done with cannabis and psilocybin over the years. I now feel that I've gained a lot of knowledge, and I'm going to be working, basically as an apprentice for the next few months with a gentleman out of Montreal, just to kind of fine tune my process. Because, 5-MeO is, like I've said a couple of times, it is the strongest entheogen known to man. It is the strongest psychedelic known to man. And if you don't prepare somebody correctly for what is about to happen, you can really do them a lot of damage. I just kind of want to fine tune the knowledge that I've been given and make sure that my preparation process for my participants is going to be bang on.
So when someone's doing it for the first time, you give them a little bit and work your way up, or do you give them?
It depends. If I were to sit and say, I'm going to use Steve as an example, only because I know what he can take. And I know that he's got a higher threshold than I do. Like for me, I could take 2.5 grams of mushrooms to his 10 grams of mushrooms, and we'd actually be the same high. Do you know what I mean? So if I've got somebody like Steve coming in to take this medicine, and I ask him about his previous psychedelic use, and he tells me that, I use psychedelics. And when it comes to mushrooms, I eat 10 grams to get my full release. And I would then know that he possibly has a higher threshold. So we start everybody on what we call a handshake dose, which is a small dose. It's kind of like, the best way to explain it is the medicine is coming in and shaking your hand and going, "Hi, how you doing? I'm 5-MeO." You get a little bit. If you're somebody like me, I would take, like a handshake is a 1 to 3 milligram dose. For somebody like me, I need to take the 1 milligram because I know that 3 milligrams is going to take me way too far. Yeah. For somebody like Steve, I would probably start him off at 3 milligrams because he's got a higher threshold. Yeah. But that's all part of the preparation process and talking with somebody and finding out, what they've done otherwise in psychedelics, what the reaction has been, how it's been for them, and you would decide together what would be right.
Yeah, that's part of what Anki and Miriam have been talking about is the talking and prep work. You've got to put a little more. There's a lot of people that are just showing up at festivals administering 5-MeO to people.
There are a lot of people like that, and there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people out there teaching it in a very short amount of time, sending people out to the festivals with 5-MeO to go just serve people. And it's really fucking scary because, if you got to make sure the person's not taking certain things before they head in. I mean, lithium and HTP, St. John's wort, all of these things that you can go to your drugstore and get. If you are taking them when you take 5-MeO or Bufo, you can kill yourself. That you can get a serotonin toxicity and do damage, cause yourself to go into psychosis, die. I mean, these things can happen, which is why the prep work is so bloody important. You have to know what somebody's taking. You have to, if they're taking things that are going to be contraindications with it, you have to make sure that they talk to their doctors and decide on whether weaning off of it is a good idea. These are very, very important things to watch out for. So the preparation period ahead of time is very important. My intake form that I have created for the medicine, I mean, Steve has filled it out for me. It's huge. I'm asking every question, and sometimes I'm asking it, twice just to make sure I'm getting proper answers.
Okay. Now, like when you meet someone and they want to take the DMT for the first time and everything, do you have like a checklist that you go through them with, like a form that they fill out and they have to?
Well, that's what the intake form is, right? Like,
expensive.
Yeah, it starts off with, somebody calls me and says, "Hey, I hear you're a 5-MeO facilitator. I'd really like to, learn more about this medicine and take it." So I'll have a discovery call. We'll have a quick 10 to 15 minute talk about where you are, what you've done before for psychedelics, what medicines you might be on, a really quick history of the family. And if it's looking like, somebody is a good fit, I would then say, I would love to get your email address and I'll email you out the intake form, which is very extensive. I ask every question to, what your name is, to what medicines you take, to are you taking therapy, to, what vitamins you might be taking, what supplements you might be taking. So it's very important to get a full list of everything that somebody is taking. Okay. And then from there you go into, at least 2 preparation calls, possibly 3, before they show up at the door.
Now, would you like us to put the information scrolling along the bottom for people to get a hold of you for more information about?
No, I don't have. I don't have a web page right now. But if somebody wants to get a hold of me, they can get a hold of me through this show. I am one of the hosts on a regular basis, so it's very easy to find me through Mushie Moment.
Yeah, my 15 minutes of fame are ending in a half.
Are getting to a point where they're over. Yeah, 2 things. We've got some comments, and then we should go to commercials, Steve.
I was just posting hi to John on the comments up there. That's funny.
Break down and other roots or herbs for de-stressors, please. Well, John, hi, how you doing? My name is Cindy, and you can definitely reach out through Mushie Moment. Send us a message through Pace Radio or through Mushie Moment, and the owner will definitely make sure I get it, and I'll get back to you personally.
And he's mentioning on there the MCTD's break. Can we do a breakdown of ashwagandha and other roots and herbs? If John, if you go to our 2 shows ago, John and I go through a whole bunch of that in one of our shows. We go through all the adaptogens. It would be not last week's, the week before's, I believe.
So the week
3 weeks ago, the week before that, because last week we did a
repeat.
play.
So not the 24th, the 17th.
The lawyer, and then the week before that, you guys would have done that.
Yeah, it was the 17th, I believe.
Yeah.
I think it was the 17th.
And we should head to.
And it's time to go to commercial. So on that note, thank you for hanging out with us. It's time for a quick break so our sponsors can help pay the bills so we can be here. So, go burn your doobie and come back and watch a show.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Are you looking for non-stop, continuous cannabis and psychedelic programming? If you are, then turn your browsers to 420radio.ca or paceradio.net, where you will find the 420 Pace re-rolled Saturday. Everything gets started at 8 a.m. Eastern Saturday morning.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor? If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
PACE Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
Legacy 420 have an awesome array of cannabis-infused beverages, from pop to Nature's Nectar's teas, all in amazing flavors. What a selection! We even have a delicious mango-infused juice, and let me tell you, it's delicious.
Everything is infused in-house, so we buy our syrup from the same place where everybody else buys their syrup for their pop, and the infusion is done in the lab. It's all canned here, labeled here, produced 100% on Tyndonega.
We have 2 lines of drinks. One is called our Nature's Nectar. That was our original line that we came out with. And then we also have a line under the Red E brand. We have them in 10 milligrams, 30 milligram, and 60 milligram cans.
What a great selection for a get-together with friends or after a long day. Remember, if you want to wet your whistle with on-site lab-tested products, come see your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Good day and welcome back to the Mushie Moment for Tuesday, October 8th. We're here with our guest, Rev Cindy. Okay, kick into gear. Tell us all about your trip now. Let's just go right from what you want to just tell us all about your trip.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I wouldn't even.
You have any more pictures? And
I have ton of pictures. I have to get to them on Facebook, so I can do that while I'm chatting. That's easy. Yeah, like the whole trip from beginning to end was amazing. One of the things that was really neat is got picked up at the airport, and we were driving to Tepoztlán, and it was Independence Day weekend. So the 1.5-hour drive actually ended up to be like 3.5 hours because just so much traffic and it was going so slow. And the street vendors were incredible. And half of the street vendors were bars. So you could pull over and get a drink and then just keep going. It was crazy. So alcohol completely different, like viewed completely differently down there than it is here. Like here, people drink to get stupid drunk, and they get stupid drunk and they do stupid things. I noticed in Mexico, I don't think I saw one stupid drunk person, but everybody was drinking. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And once we got into Tepoztlán itself is an amazing little town. It's kind of like lost in time. They don't allow any chain stores there. So like there's no Costco, there's no Walmart, there's no any of that. Everything was a mom and pop store. The roads were cobblestone. Like I say, it was literally a land lost in time. It was amazing. Everybody was so friendly. You get up and go for a walk in the morning. And everybody's waving or honking from the cars. Buenos dias as you're walking by. Like everybody was just like super nice. And I explored the town and did some touristing for a couple of days during the Independence Day festival. And the whole town was nothing but street markets on that Sunday. Like the whole town. Like there were just like both sides of every street were lined. There were bands at every corner, playing. I discovered a cacao cafe, which is one of the medicines I work with. So I sat there drinking a cacao, watching a band play in the middle of all the markets on the streets. And it was just, it was just super amazing to be sitting in the middle of that. Whenever, everywhere you walked in town, all you could smell was the incense copal, like everywhere, every street, every shop. It just smelled beautiful. And then, I went to Tandava where the course was being held and, met my classmates, and we went through 2 weeks of healing really with each other. Because that's, I know we were down there to learn and get educated, but one of the ways we got educated was to take the medicine. We had to practice on somebody when we were serving, so we practiced on each other. And it also, we did the medicine in all the different ways, so we would be proficient to be able to serve it. And, and that was incredible. We did vape pens to start with. And, I became a tree. Like in my journey, I was a tree who was setting roots and growing. And it was incredible. So I did, that day we did that. We did another one called the Health Stone. It was a way of vaping it, which is a really nice way of vaping it, to be honest. We did Bufo in the Eclipse. We continue to
know what those are, so you got to explain what they are.
As I look around, I don't have them because I stuck them in the mail. Like mine are in a mailer on the way home. So the Health Stone is basically like a pipe, and it's got a piece of almost like volcanic type stone that sets in. So you would heat the volcanic stone. You'd put the dose of 5 MEO on it, and then I'm just looking around for a pipe here, but I don't even have a pipe. So it just looks like literally a little pipe.
That little pipe that you gave me with the little stem, is that?
No, that's that is more like this, and that's for Hape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like a smoking pipe, like that kind of idea. And this volcanic rock type stuff goes in it, stone. You heat the stone, you melt the 5 MEO into it, and then you're able to vape it from there. So you can hold it, the person can hold it to their lips, and you can heat it a little bit, and that'll vape it. An Eclipse is another pipe, but it gives you the ability to melt the Bufo. Like it's perfect for Bufo. And and again, I don't have mine here, and I don't have any pictures of it, but it basically takes a glass tube and puts it in the end of this metal thing. And the glass tube is where you have the medicine. And you would heat the glass tube to combust the medicine, and the person would inhale up here. There's one called an argo lamp that uses argon gas to get rid of the oxygen. So when you vaporize the 5-MeO, you don't have to worry about anything that's going to make you cough. It's all pure medicine, no oxygen, no anything going in, and most non-smokers can vaporize it that way. So we did ceremonies using all of these different devices, as well as a ceremony with a vape pen. And then we did a ceremony where we used suppositories. And then we did a ceremony where we insufflated it. So we did Bufo 7, or we did 5-MeO and Bufo 7 different ways as we're going through classes. And then we got to, when we did our graduation or our final exam serving, the person that we were serving got to pick the way they did it, which is really awesome, right?
What you doing?
I'm reading what John's saying.
Yeah, that's funny. I just leaned over to do the same thing.
The suppository
vaping though.
Yeah. Suppository, John, was for me over the 2 weeks the most profound ceremony that I had. We did 17 milligrams each, and we did it in a suppository. Women obviously get 2 choices of where we're sticking it, whereas men only get 1. I picked the woman's only way of doing it, and for me, it was the right way. I come from a little bit of personal history. I am a survivor of childhood sexual trauma, and I lost my womanhood and didn't gain it back. And this particular ceremony, I gained my womanhood back in its purest form. And it was probably one of the 2 most epic things that happened to me while I was there. The other one was I told you the story earlier and showed you the picture. But that was the healing that I got in that ceremony is the healing that I have been looking for from the beginning.
Wow.
And it was given to me. And they said, we've never had anybody have what we call a full release dissolution on a suppository. Well, they can't say that anymore because I sure shit did. I had an unbelievable full release. This was actually ceremony number 6 that we did. And I had a full release, and I was hours actually coming back from the ceremony, like getting fully back in my body. So yeah, it was pretty incredible, and it was extremely healing. That afternoon we did insufflation, but I didn't do insufflation because I had just had such a large journey that I decided to opt out of that one. And I've insufflated, a number of times before with different facilitators. So it wasn't something I needed education in doing myself. So I opt out. The same way to blood vessels. Yeah. And then John is saying, well, that must have cured it. And then some, thanks so much for sharing. My pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, no, it was an incredible time. And, it wasn't just healing from a participant point of view. I had to heal from a facilitator point of view. As a facilitator, you become the focus of sometimes of people's upsetness or rage or anger. You become that mirror for them. They transfer onto you. There's transference. And you have to be strong enough to take it and know that it has nothing to do with you as a person. What it has to do with is, they're mad at their mother or their father or the person who hurt them. And the facilitator sometimes, will become that person during the journey for the participants. So to learn how to hold space for somebody during those very tender moments is very important to learn. And I got a chance to do that when I was in Mexico. And, it's not just that, but with 5-MeO, as well as with other medications that are out there, LSD is famous for it. There are reactivations that can happen. And you have to be prepared to put your own shit aside if your participant comes along at 2:00 in the morning having a reactivation, feeling like they're back in the middle of their journey, which can be very disorientating and almost scary for somebody, especially if they had a challenging journey. So you have to be ready to jump into that with them. And learning that is a very healing lesson, because you have to learn how to pack up your own shit, and not in a I'm going to ignore it kind of way, but in a I need to help this person and put my own shit over here for now kind of way. And it was amazing to learn. I had to go through both of those situations. I had to be the facilitator. That was the mirror. And that was very hard for me. And then I, in the middle of being the facilitator with the mirror, going through that very difficult lesson for myself, somebody that I was a co-facilitator for, you had a reactivation. So I literally had to go, fuck, and pack all that up and put it in my back pocket and go be a facilitator for this other person. And two very important lessons to learn. And, in the end, two very healing lessons to learn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this is a stupid question or whatever, but
there are no stupid questions.
There's a difference. There's mushrooms, there's bufo, there's 5-MeO, ayahuasca. Now, is there different levels of healing with different substances? Or
no.
No.
But that's a really good question. That's a very smart question, just so you know, because a lot of people think that. They think, oh, well, I'm going to start with cannabis and I'll level up to mushrooms and I'll level up to blah and I'll level up to blah. But it's not that, like we call 5-MeO the strongest entheogen in the world, but all of these medicines offer different things. And what you need could be completely different than what I need for tools, right? Or what Steve needs. So, I could go into 5-MeO and go, oh, that was it for me. That helped me heal. That helped me learn a bunch of things. I can now, work this into my life and do some integration. But for you, you may need mushrooms. And that may take you to the point where you get that same healing. For somebody else, they may need to go for a tobacco ceremony. And I'm not talking hape, I'm talking tobacco ceremony, the one that Steve did. For other people, they need to go for iboga, peyote. I mean, some people can smoke a joint and that's all they need. So it depends. It's the same as humans have tried to make these modern medicines out of chemicals. We call them antidepressants and all of these crazy things that people get addicted to. And what they're trying to do is say, okay, well, Cindy's mind is missing, these chemicals or not firing these synapses properly. So we're going to put these chemicals in to make that fire properly. That's kind of what natural meds are doing in a much better way. If somebody's endocannabinoid system is screwed up and they don't have enough pumping out through that, they need to eat more cannabinoids. And then that'll help the pain and it'll help level out, anxiety or depression. Some people need to repattern their brain. They need to take those old patterns and repattern them. And for some people, ayahuasca is going to help them do that. It's going to put them in the right place of neuroplasticity. And for some people, they need an NDMT or psilocybin or 5-MeO. It's really what the person needs.
I like to refer kind of to they speak different languages.
That's another great way of putting it. Yeah,
hearing, because they're all a different frequency, but in the same area.
Yeah,
which one makes you resonate?
Well, I had a peyote was the one for me that had the most effect on me long term.
Yeah,
and someone might do it and the same dose as me and just have totally different experience, right? So
completely.
Yeah.
And I mean, like in all this natural medicine, we don't actually have to ingest medicine or take medicine or smoke medicine either. Medicine can come in the form of sound healing or breath work. And for some people, that's what they need. They need to go for sound healing once a week, and it helps to keep them calm and level.
It would be nice if we could make a thing saying, okay, this medicine is most effective for this. So maybe you should try this before you try this, or I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if we can say that. Like, I think that comes, from come on, stop doing that. That comes from conversation and who the people are. If I come across somebody that has a very large fear of death and, can't let go of control, I might not start them with 5-MeO, because 5-MeO takes your control from you. You become, when you have a full release, you become one with everything and you lose control. And somebody that has a control issue is not ready for that. We have to build them up. So that would be somebody that I would build up to 5-MeO. Well, let's maybe, eat some cannabis, and then we'll, eat some mushrooms, and we'll work you up from there. Prepare you to fully let go. And some people may come in and say, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm ready to let go.
Okay. Well, I do mushrooms for maintenance. I do them almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
I call it maintenance or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
For 14 years, I've been microdosing mushrooms. Now, could someone do the same thing with 5-MeO, or is it like one shot a week kind of thing? Or
no, it's neither of those. It's 5-MeO causes neuroplasticity in the brain. So for some people, they can go in if they have all the right preparation, and you've worked with them and you've done some parts work and you've prepared them, and their whole being and their whole mind and their whole energy is on board. They could go into it. They can do the medicine. They can then leave and work with an integration specialist to learn how to re-pattern their mind while they're in neuroplasticity. And they may never feel the calling to go back to it again. Some people will feel the calling.
With hero doses with mushrooms too, though. They never need it again.
Some people, yeah. But that's different than microdosing.
Yeah.
Right? Microdosing is a maintenance program. Macrodosing or hero dosing is, it's meant to take somebody to do that inner work and see if they can help heal that inner child. And peyote's like that. Ayahuasca's like that. Iboga's like that. I mean, none of them are a magic pill. None of them are a magic bullet. There's no guarantee that you're going to do it once and it's going to work and you're never going to need it again. But if you do it and you do the proper preparation, and it's the same with any of these medicines, proper preparation, proper, integration, your intentions are, all about healing. There's a good chance that with the right work and the right talk therapy around it, a person could only need to do a medicine once. But then, there are people like me that it can be like, I'm an onion. I'm peeling back the layers.
Layer.
Yeah. I'm healing one layer at a time. I really truly feel that that one journey I told you guys about with the suppository, I truly feel like I peeled back half the fucking onion there. And I did a lot of work and a lot of healing. But, I also realized that I need to integrate that into my life and continue on to the next layer when I'm ready.
Now, would you say someone with more trauma would be like the onion peeling back the layers, or?
In my personal experience, yeah, but I have also come to realize that humans have this amazing ability to repress shit. So somebody could come into this and they could say, oh, I just have this one trauma in my life, and I want to go heal it. And then memories start to come flooding back. Because one thing that I've learned is we all have trauma. We all have a similar trauma. Being born is traumatic. And that can cause just that whole being born can cause issues for the rest of your life. For some people, they hold on to generational traumas. That happens a lot in, minorities, like, in the Black community or in the Indigenous community. A lot of grandparents and parents and great grandparents were terrorized, slaves, or imprisoned in convents here in Canada with the Indigenous and whatnot. And a lot of that trauma that our great grandparents and our grandparents, or like our parents in my case, suffered comes down through the children. It is passed down through DNA, and there's nothing we can do about that. It's not something that we've actually been through, but I have learned in recent years that I am BIPOC, and I am the daughter of a residential school survivor. And that plays into my head a lot, like I consider what my mother went through and realize that, like, holy shit, that's affected me. Even when I didn't know about it, that affected me. So we have traumas, and we have traumas. I mean, if you believe in them, from past lives. And we carry these, in ourselves, in our DNA. So I believe that everybody has layers, but how deep they go and how much they affect us are different from person to person. Somebody could have the ability to put up that block against generational traumas. And I commend all of those people that can do that. I think that's a beautiful tool to have, to be able to block those past traumas and not pass them on, to our future generations.
I think you should be a speaker at the Spirit Plant Medicine Conference. Personally, that's my opinion. I think you should be a speaker there. I guess you guys are interviewing Mark from the show next week.
Yeah. I was told that when I come back to work next week that we've got Mark Karan on, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, just when I'm not doing it anymore. Thanks a lot, you guys.
Listen, you got Robert Laurier. I'm jealous about that. So I saw that commercial and I'm like, no, dude, no, you were supposed to wait. No.
It was a good show.
Robert's a great guy. I've interviewed him before. He's nice.
Yeah, we've taken him under, what do you call it?
Advisement?
He's our lawyer now.
Well, as soon as we give him some cash.
Yeah, we have to give him a retainer. But
yeah.
But
but it's coming right after that Spirit Plant Medicine Conference.
Yeah.
So I leave 3 weeks from tomorrow to head out to see you guys for that.
Wow. And I'm so glad you're coming. Takes a lot of heat off me being able to sit for a little bit. So that's really good. My daughter's coming on the Saturday to help.
Nice.
And
I'm excited.
who's coming on the Sunday?
I was talking to Amy about maybe coming in on the Sunday.
Yeah. So,
cool.
Yeah. So the crippled guy's got some relief. I don't feel bad because
I don't have any relief. What are you
yeah, for sure. But you know what? I'll be there on the Friday, so that's going to be good.
I've got VIP, so I'm on there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we've got a cannabis thing to go to the night of the 1st as well. So we're going to have a long weekend.
Nice.
Well, don't they have the cannabis ceremony every
Saturday night? But this is a Halloween party.
Ooh.
Friday night. That has nothing to do with the Spirit Plant Medicine Conference. It's just, hey, come get
my only religious holiday, Halloween. Oh yeah, we went to
Croptober. That's funny.
Croptober. That's a good one. We cropped today. We cut down all my plants.
Croptober.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. That's funny, John.
Going for donating it all for healing. So yeah.
What time are we at?
We're at that time.
12:58.
Oh, hey, you got 2 minutes. What do you want to say in those 2 minutes? Oh,
yeah.
You don't have 2 minutes. You got like 30 seconds. We got to run ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't even have that because the ads are 2 minutes and 21 seconds.
And we didn't have our ad on there today, so I was looking for it.
So 18.
No, they've been taken off because if we have anything to do with mushrooms or cannabis actually said in the opening or in the closing or in any of it or in words, they shut us down. So yeah, we had
Are we allowed to say chocolate?
Oh, when we're talking, it's different, but it's in the music and in the ads. We have to be very.
Yeah, so I got to revamp all our
fucking
ads.
Gestapo. Hey, you could talk. You could
close us off there, Steve, because we've got 2 minutes and 21 seconds to stick in 30 seconds.
Thanks everybody for hanging out and spending some time with us here. Thank you, Cindy, for being on the show. Thank you, John, for being an awesome host. Because you were the host, I was sitting there going like this. You kept telling me, "Get your fucking hand off here."
You know what?
You just keep going.
I
do that.
My co-hosting to replace you for the last 3 weeks has been fun, but I'm glad you're back.
Yeah.
He hates sitting with me for that long.
Well,
okay, bye.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20 is so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420 enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponic shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.